Lottoriddles.com, Char Mace, and we have a new series I've been meaning to get to. It's called Document Decipher, and that's short, Doc Decipher. So basically there's a lot of articles and games and movies, many places where they hide certain meanings into the media, and basically we're here to decipher. And it's kind of like what I do at Lottoriddles.com. I write stories, and if you can decipher the meaning, you win. So basically, I'm just going to show you how they do that in other material, like the beeline to disaster. We're doing Detroit Become Human, and we're going to dissect and decipher, what they got hidden in some of these magazines. Cybersecurity expert warns your Android could be hacked. Dating websites discovered to have less than 5% female members. They got a lot of bots on those accounts. So let's get started to see why the bees are under attack by the government. Pollinating bees officially extinct. For decades, scientists and farmers foresaw the inevitable extinction of the bee populations. Despite these warnings, the Global Institute of Endangered Species, we're going to call them Gs, announced at their Washington AGM yesterday that while bees are now officially extinct, living specimens exist only in captivity. Bee numbers have been ravaged in recent decades by colony collapse disorder, where worker bees disappear, leaving hives which cannot feed themselves. Biologists confirmed that the CCD was accelerated by the overuse of pesticides in crops, parasites, and pollution. So, yeah, they're under attack, and this game is kind of in the future, so it's kind of like trying to show you what could possibly happen in this not so distant future. Pollinating bees officially extinct. The consequences of this catastrophe will be felt across the cotton industry, fresh water supplies, and most disturbingly, agriculture. Environmentalist Kathy Linda has stressed the breadth of this news. 1 in 3 mouthfuls of food we eat relies on pollination of some kind. The resulting famine will lead to millions of deaths worldwide. CyberLife, that's the Android making company inside of the game, in cooperation with, we gonna call them Gs, all right, Gs sound better, have come forward with plans on creating robotic bees. Yep, they want to do that. Some are pursuing non-robotic approaches, such as Detroit Urban Farms, currently experimenting with modified strains of bee produce in captivity, but there is no guarantee that they will thrive. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. First of all, don't fall for the deception that bees are on their way out there becoming endangered, and pollination, we're gonna have to resort to different measures. What they're doing is they're steering the narrative. So this is what they want to happen. So behind the scenes, they're gonna be actively attacking the bees while they put this in front of your face in many different various forms of media. So we'll say 20 years from now, if bees were to go to extinct, you see here they have pollinating bees. Well, they're going to be able to say, well, we were telling you this way back then. No, they're steering the narrative. Don't fall for that. The question you should be asking is why? What are they trying to get rid of? Why are they trying to replace? We know if pollinating bees go extinct today, we know the catastrophe, the word they use, it would cause, as they've put up in this document. So why are they trying to get rid of bees? Why would they risk damaging the environment? Why would they risk famine and millions of deaths? They would actually go through the hassle of trying to replace bees, robotic bees. The amount of money you would spend to manually cross-pollinate, that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you go through all of that just to get rid of the bees? Well, I'm gonna tell you why they would do that. We do know that honey is considered the one true food that doesn't spoil in its natural state. Of course, we know honey doesn't spoil, but one secret that corporate America knows is that honey, and I'm specifically talking organic honey, cures a lot of sicknesses and diseases, especially some of your big acronym diseases, the scary ones. They tell you hey, look, this can never be cured. They know the honey is the secret that'll rid you of it. And so organic honey is the key. They would love nothing more than to control what the bees do naturally and give you some dumbed down, genetically modified honey that won't cure anything. So I remember I was watching this movie. It's called Bee Movie. You know, I tell you, they put the truth through the subliminals in a lot of your content. And out of nowhere, this bee was telling this lady, he said, hey, we have this real nasty, vicious disease. I'm paraphrasing. In his hive, it's called H.I.V.O. And it was an acronym. It was H.I.V.O. And after he mentioned that, the story didn't go anywhere else from that point he made. It's like he just made the point and the rest of the movie continued as normal. So it's like, you know, if you know how they message each other, you could tell, oh, I get it. I see what they're trying to say. So you can see the point I'm leading to with all of this as to why they want to control the honey that the bees produce. It's not as easy as just killing the bees. You can infect the entire environment. So they have to figure out how to phase them out while taking over the job that the bees do. You see where I'm going? So corporate America is still getting away with these lies like, oh, there's no cure for the common cold. Your grandmother knows the cure. She knows a remedy for a cold. I can't believe they still get away with that, because they want you to go buy their little symptom relievers or whatever. Which just sometimes tells me, okay, if you know how to calm it down a little, it sounds like you may know how to get rid of it. I know that if I had a cold, I would get a bunch of lemons. I would get some water, and I would get a bunch of honey. Keep in mind, I like organic honey. I would squeeze 2 lemons in a cup of water, and I would sweeten it with a lot of honey. And I would do that like 2 or 3 times a day. I'm telling you, I wouldn't have anything by the end of the week. The next week may be just me coughing up a bunch of, you know, that nasty mucus and stuff. But I would be relieved far quicker than just letting my immune system figure it out. But that's what I would do. Oh, and dairy feeds the cold, so I would eliminate any dairy, at least while I'm trying to get rid of it. Okay, so let's go a little deeper. Let's up the stakes. What if I had unprotected sex and I start feeling ill? Then I go to the doctor, get tested, and they said, sorry, you've tested positive for one of these 3 to 4 letter acronyms, and that you'll be taking medication for life, and this is likely what's going to take you out of here, and there's no yada yada yada, all of that other stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Well, I can tell you what I would do. I would let a bee puke in my mouth. Honestly, I would buy a lot of organic honey, just a whole bunch of it. Let's say 2 weeks worth of organic honey, make them rich. And so what I like to do, I would heat it up really. I would take like a cup full, we'll say a big cup, and I would heat it up really, really hot. And I would sip it like tea or something, maybe a hot cappuccino. But I would make sure I finish that cup. I would say 2 cups a day, maybe 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. I would heat up and make some very hot organic honey. And I would drink it throughout the day. Water, of course, you got to stay hydrated. But I will only drink water, and I would sip a bunch of hot honey, a big cup of it. And I would do that for about 2 weeks. 2.5 maybe to be safe, but 2 weeks I would do that for 2 weeks. Nothing but hot, steaming cups of honey in my system. And I would drink a lot of water. And then I would go back to the doctor and I would get tested again. And I would watch their faces. I'm talking about a Kodak moment. But see, it's in that organic. You see this article? They want to get rid of the organic honey because that's the key to it. And then you dismantle their whole money scam. Because if you for once think they don't know this, if you can imagine all of the people they let die, they treated them with something that wouldn't heal them completely, and they just made money off of them. See, this is why it pays to be the nerd in the class. Now, if you don't have the discipline to go on an organic honey and water diet for 2 weeks, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, write your will or something. But my point is, this is why there's an attack on one of the insects / animals that's the most vital to our environment. They would do anything to make $1, even if that means darn near destroying humanity. I can take you to the water, but I can't help you drink on my French Montana. So that's about all. What a fitting game. I was brought into this world in Detroit. I was not raised there, but I take pride in where I was born. So hopefully they make a part 2 to this. I really enjoyed this game. But the company who made it, they don't really make sequels, so we just got the hope.